Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, All Things Keto with Kelsey. I'm Kelsey, and today I wanted to share with you one of my challenges that I did throughout the month of August. I am going to preface this video with just the fact that I had this video almost all the way done, and I had already done an introduction, and I did a kind of like a 10 days in update, and my computer crashed this week and lost it all. So I'm starting from scratch, but this is August 31st, and I'm just going to kind of share with you my experience of no coffee this month. So today I am celebrating my last day of drinking something other than coffee for my daily ritual. Why did I decide to go without coffee for a month? Why did I decide to replace it with something else? What did I replace it with? Was it good enough? You know, I'm gonna dive into it all. I'm active on Instagram and I follow a lot of different health gurus, and I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, you know, it's important to give up these things that are, you know, you kind of feel like you couldn't live without them. I've never been so ridiculous to say I can't live without them, but live without it. But I definitely have admitted to myself that I'm probably addicted to coffee. I just love it. It's delicious. It's comforting. I just enjoy a good cup of coffee. And I think moving on to the keto diet, coffee was one of those things that I could keep in my diet. It wasn't something that I had to get rid of. I could put heavy cream in it. I could make a rich, frothy cup of coffee, and I could enjoy it just as much as I did when I wasn't keto. So coffee has been a tool for me throughout my keto journey, and something that has been, you know, a companion as well. It's something that has been in my life steadily for a long time. I started drinking coffee when I was 7 years old. We lived on a dairy farm growing up, and my dad had us getting up around 5:30 in the morning to get up to do chores at 6. And he told my mom, get some coffee into these kids, they need to wake up. And so I started drinking coffee. And at that point, I was drinking coffee with a little bit of coffee with a lot of milk and lots of, you know, some cookies dipped in it, and just like anything I could do to get it down. But as I grew older, I started drinking coffee with just cream. I didn't need sugar, didn't need any cookies to dip it in to make it palatable. I just enjoyed coffee. And then growing up, moving out of the house and getting married to my husband, I had the choice of picking the good coffee. I enjoyed a good quality cup of coffee. I got an expensive coffee pot, and just I enjoy coffee. So it's a very steady part of my life. So I've given it up a couple of times over the years, and I kind of felt like it was time for me to try again. Now, going into this challenge, my goal was not to get rid of caffeine completely. So I allowed myself some Earl Grey tea, which has a small amount of caffeine, and then the mushroom drink that I was drinking also had a small amount of caffeine. I think each serving had 35 or 45 milligrams of caffeine in it, so I was still getting a little bit of caffeine. But when I was doing the math on the caffeine consumption that I was having on a regular basis, on a daily basis, I'd have 2 big cups like this. This is a cup that holds, it's like a 16-ounce cup, so I'd have 2 of these in the morning and then like 2 in the afternoon. So that's like 8 cups of coffee a day, and I think it ended up being like between about 600 to 700 milligrams of caffeine every day for a long time. So I haven't had the jitters from it. I don't have any negative effects that I'm aware of. Like, I'm a little bit tired in the afternoon, but I have 3 kids. I'm busy. You know, it's not surprising that I would be tired. But other than that, no negative consequences of caffeine. So going into August 1st, I decided to order 2 different coffee alternatives. So I tried Mud Water, which is it is a mushroom blend with, you know, some masala chai and some cacao in it, turmeric and Himalayan salt. And I kind of expected this to be, I don't know what I expected. I guess, you know, the reviews online are so animated and so like, wow, where has this been all my life? And they're obviously being paid to market to people to get coffee out of the cupboard. And they got me, okay? This is a 30 serving container. One serving is 1 tablespoon. And then It was supposed to last me all month long. I will say I measured by the tablespoon every single morning, and I actually ran out about 10 days early. So I got 20 cups out of this one jar when I was supposed to get 30. So that was kind of disappointing. They also have a weight, but I didn't weigh it. I measured it with a tablespoon. So anyway, apparently my tablespoons were a little packed. And then I also bought this, and this is called Dandy Blend. And this is kind of like an instant coffee. It's comparable to an instant coffee, and it is made with roast barley extracts, roasted rye extracts, chicory root, and dandelion root extracts. So this is 1 teaspoon makes an 8-ounce cup. And it turns out if you want it a little stronger, you can keep the teaspoons or whatever. I do about a tablespoon in about like 12 ounces or something like that. So it's a very, I would say it is a strong flavor. It's a strong flavor, kind of like coffee. It's bitter. It's not exactly like coffee, but it definitely, between the two, like my preference is Dandy Blend all the way. I had ordered a 25 single packs of the Dandy Blend, and I ended up ordering another 100 servings off of Amazon. This is very affordable. The Dandy Blend, this was 1 teaspoon servings, and it was like $15. And this was 20 servings. They market it as 30, but it ended up being 20 tablespoon servings. And that was like $44, and I had a coupon, and it was like a special 20% off plus my coupon. I don't remember. It's around $60 for the first, it's around $60 for a can. I got it down to 40 because of a couple different coupons. So yeah, it was a little bit surprising how expensive it was, and the flavor's terrible. Like to be completely honest, there have been times in my life where I have had like a turmeric latte, and that you make it with almond milk, turmeric, cinnamon, honey. I think that's about it. But that's pretty much what this tasted like. It tasted like a weak turmeric latte. I'd rather just have a turmeric latte, and it's a lot cheaper. The first day I tried it, I just used hot water, and I put a little bit of almond milk creamer. It was like the Nut Pods creamer, so it's almond and coconut milk. And it wasn't terrible, but it was really weak, even though like I measured the right amount of water, so it felt really weak. So after about 3 or 4 days of just making it how the can told me to make it, I decided to start messing around and like adding a couple of things. So in the end, how I ended up enjoying the mud water was I added a half a teaspoon of cocoa powder. I added a splash of vanilla, some salt. I added some stevia drops, I think, and some cinnamon. So I added 5 things. I added 5 ingredients to make this mud water taste palatable to me. And that's just ridiculous. I also would add like a little bit of MCT oil and a little bit of heavy cream if I felt like I needed a little extra boost. So to have to add like 7 ingredients to make something palatable and enjoyable, like I don't need that in my life. That's just ridiculous. I finished it up because I didn't want to waste it, but I also will say that by day 3, I went back into my subscription, because you have to use a subscription to get the first order. You have to sign up for a subscription, which is dumb. But on day 3, I went in and I canceled that subscription, and it was hard to cancel because every time I said I wanted to cancel, they're like, oh, well, why do you want to cancel it? And I was like, well, I don't like the flavor. They're like, oh, well, did you know that you could we have a book of recipes that you can use to make it taste better, and have you tried those? Would you like me to send you the cookbook? And we're like, no, I don't. I want to cancel. I do not want this in my life, and so it was just really frustrating. So they're like, okay, and they're like, well, here, fill out this survey and we'll send you a free gift. And I'm like, okay, a free gift, like maybe it's like a frother or something. No, they send me a 20% off coupon for the product that I didn't want to keep. So anyway, I didn't return it. I didn't get a refund. I finished it and called it a loss. But anyway, so that was, if you try this and if you sign up for a subscription, make sure you set a reminder up in your phone for like 25 days in, if at 30 days it's going to renew. I always try to remember to do that because I've lost money before on subscriptions. So going to the Dandy Blend, how did I use the Dandy Blend? Dandy Blend, I was using, basically I would do like about 12 ounces and then I'd do a tablespoon of the Dandy Blend, and then I would add a couple shakes of salt and then a little bit of MCT oil and my creamer. And honestly, this is how I make my coffee. So it was not difficult to just do that. It wasn't a big deal. It just, you know, it was convenient. It was easy. Now, what kind of benefits do I think I've had from this? I honestly, I don't feel any different. I would say the number one benefit of me being off of coffee for the month of August is I didn't stop at Starbucks one time. So I would say in a good month, I stop at Starbucks twice. On a bad month, I stop at Starbucks like once a week. Every time we go get groceries, I'm like, I probably need a little coffee. And, you know, I've been trying to get away from doing the coffee from the store because it's just the coffee from Starbucks, because coffee shop coffee is expensive. You spend $5 every time you go, at least. Anyway, so I've saved myself money at Starbucks. I would say I'm proud of myself for saying no to one of my favorite things for 31 days. Like, that's a huge accomplishment for something that I'm not really a sleep deprived mom at this moment, so that doesn't really have anything to do with it. But a mom who during nap time, like, I like to brew a cup of coffee and just sit in the silence for just a little bit and enjoy that. I like that. So I missed my coffee, and I think I feel accomplished that I gave something up that could have been a vice. I think I actually learned a lot more about myself deep down than I was anticipating. I had kind of a bad month in August. I'm sure by the time this video is live, you'll be able to go see my August update. And that was a little bit disappointing for me to film. So, you know, coffee is a big comfort to me in my life. And I hope I can just kind of get this out clearly. But I think I had several cheats over the month of August, and I think while I was missing that cup of coffee that comforts me and that I enjoy so much, I was constantly searching for something else to replace it. So for several months, if not most of this year, I have not made desserts. I haven't been making desserts. I'll eat one if they bring a keto dessert to a function, but I don't make them because if I keep them in the house, I can't stop eating them. So this month, I found a new recipe and I made it like 3 times, and I ate most of them. My kids eat them too, but like I made this treat 3 times in 1 month. And I also cheated on keto several times this month, and I think it just came from a deep sense of dissatisfaction. Like, I wasn't happy and I wanted to just find something that was going to make me feel happy again. So was I addicted to coffee? Absolutely. And did taking it out of my life like kind of wreck it a little bit? A little bit. I think it did. Now, am I responsible for my own actions? Absolutely. Yes, I am. And I don't want to blame coffee for what my willpower can't handle, but it was a really rough month, and I think the biggest contributor was like just not having that one special thing that just always kind of makes me feel better. But I also think that there's some deeper work that I need to work on as far as addiction to food, maybe not addiction to coffee, but I do think I have an addiction issue with like the pleasure that I get from certain foods. So like desserts, I do get pleasure from those desserts, and I am addicted to that. If I get the texture right, I just can't stop eating it. And for coffee, like I drink coffee when I'm happy. I drink coffee when I'm sad. I make a cup of coffee when I'm upset with my day. So I do think my caffeine consumption has definitely risen to levels that I shouldn't be drinking caffeine. So my goal going into when I start coffee back up tomorrow, September 1st, I am going to be switching to half calf right away, because there's no reason to be drinking 500 or 700 milligrams of caffeine in a day. And I probably won't be drinking that many cups of coffee, but still, I think it's important for me to lower the caffeine consumption a little bit. So that's kind of my plan going forward. I'm definitely going to keep Dandy Blend in my cupboard so that if I feel like I want another hot cup of something, I can have that. It's something that it's completely caffeine free, and I can make it up. I can even drink it at night before I go to bed because it's not actually coffee. So that was exciting to find something that is that warm, cozy feel. Going into fall and winter, I think I'll probably use that a little bit more than I thought I would. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful to maybe think through what kind of things you might be addicted to, that it's just acceptable to be addicted to this. So I'm just gonna live with that, and it's okay with me. Yeah, I think it's important for us to kind of reevaluate things that are very prevalent in our lives occasionally, and see if we can do without them, and if we need to be replacing with them with something else, or it's just good to be aware of the habits that we're in. So yeah. So if you liked this video, make sure you smash that like button before you leave, and if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And as always, I hope wherever you're at today, you're having a great day. And we'll see you soon, friends.